How come we're out here in the forest to do this podcast?
Because snake oil, PAX accountant.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's what you get. Oh, this is the LoadingReadyRun.com podcast for September 8th, 2012. Yay!
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
There we go.
There we go. We're all friends on the couch.
Yay.
So comfy.
Couch friends.
Couch
Yeah.
with friends.
We need a couch that's like 6 inches bigger, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, the fact that you can get 5 of us on this couch at all is pretty impressive.
So
we look
we're
like a
svelte.
sitcom.
Paul's here. And
Come
I'm
knock
here.
on my door.
And Kathleen's here. And Cam is back from Calgary.
Hi.
Yay.
And-
I missed you.
And Andy's visiting from Vancouver.
Hello.
So we thought we would do a podcast. So James and Matt are
At Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
I think this is a strict upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, we've
Replace
traded in
James
Matt.
and Matt for Cam and Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you listen carefully, you can hear Matt from here.
Probably.
Woo, I'm so drunk.
drunk. So the last podcast we did was for Occupied. And so this week we're going to talk about the videos since then. First with Scout's Dishonor, which...
I wrote.
Yeah.
And it's video. And it turned out really well. And I was very happy with it. I have really not much to add to it. It's fairly self-explanatory in the loading time.
What inspired it again?
I can't remember.
Oh. All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It was a while ago.
What was the one? Oh, that we haven't actually aired that yet. I was
Yes.
like, I thought there was one inspired by Labyrinth, but no, we haven't actually aired that.
I don't see how this would have been inspired by Labyrinth.
This was not inspired by Labyrinth.
No, I didn't think this one was. I was just trying to. I was like, I,
think
know
this
there was
was
something.
inspired by Moonrise Kingdom, which I had seen much more recently.
Right.
That makes more sense.
I was really happy, like how the the scouts being little and Graham being taller and that whole stuff actually worked out quite well.
We put more effort into the costumes for that purpose than maybe worked, because the plan was that I would wear, because I don't actually know if you even got like a full body shot of
I think you do.
my character, but
No,
I'm
I
wearing
think there's a
I'm
wide-
wearing
there's a wide
shorts
shot.
like up to like here. I'm wearing like quite high khakis, and the scouts are wearing really long ones to make their legs look shorter, to basically make it look like we're wearing the same size shorts, but that they're smaller.
And then we're kneeling down in the shoulder shots and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it worked really well. We did, however, get, as we mentioned in the loading time, get absolutely mauled by mosquitoes.
Yes. Once we got the mosquito
That was
killing
great.
stuff, that was
We
fine.
literally had one fly towards, I think it was James, and just went like,
I'm out of here. This sucks.
yeah, mosquito joke.
All right.
But yeah, that one turned out really well.
Then we did the snake oil.
Which is a script I wrote a long time ago. I don't remember when. But we've been trying to shoot it, but we couldn't find a location.
It's the kind of video that we used to have would have shot in Graham's parents' old place.
Yeah.
You know,
Then they moved.
Then they moved.
the library where we've shot basically anything that we needed, like a neat old timey set for.
Yep.
Which I'm sure you guys all know. But then they moved. Yeah. So maybe we have a new old timey set.
Yeah.
Assuming, requires a little bit more notice, but.
Yeah, but
they're very cool.
they were totally up
They
for it.
set out lemonade and cookies for us.
Oh my god, so
So
good.
nice.
Where was it?
Car house.
Really?
Yeah. Emily Carr, famous
Yeah.
Canadian painter. We were shooting a silly video in her very drawing room, I guess, or
The
parlor. Yeah.
Yes. The snake oil itself actually was not a mixture of water and dirty water. It was a mixture of water and lemonade.
So thanks for setting out lemonade. We needed that.
Yes.
And then we did ways to prepare for PAX.
Yes, because I mentioned again in the loading time that we were going to do a different video and didn't have a prop for it. We're going to like a different X ways to Y. And then the night before, we were like, wait, let's do that. Or 2 nights before? Because you wrote most of these, didn't you?
Yeah, James. Yeah, it was. I think it was that we had we were like on Friday or on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
we were like, oh man, we're not going to get this X Ways to Y that we want to do done. What are we going to do? And we were sort of thinking about it, and I think Graham had left, and James was like, how about ways to prepare for PAX?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then we left, and then like on the way home, I started like texting James random ideas that I had, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll go home and actually write a bunch of these down.
Yeah.
And I like it. Turned out very well.
And then we came up with a bunch of stuff that morning,
Yeah.
such as
Such as Kathleen getting up to do a phone call. Hey, how's it going, Adam?
we did
I'm good.
the Ferris Bueller reference was not originally going to be that. It was just going to be like study old maps, because we have these old PAX maps here, and it was just going to be like with like a magnifying glass or something, like, yes, I see, the expo floor is here, yes.
Yeah.
Or just studying the old maps. And I think, was it James who wanted to do the
James
Ferris
was like,
Bueller thing?
What if it's the Ferris Bueller thing? And we're like, what Ferris Bueller thing? He's like, oh, this, the thing from the art gallery.
Which I remembered afterwards,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And it was very good. And that was one of those ones that's like I noticed in the comments, like, hits a certain age level, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people haven't seen Ferris Bueller, which is impressive because
It's on TV like all the time.
maybe it's not always shown on TV anymore, but at least when we were kids, like, I remember there was actually one station that would just show for an entire day, would just show Ferris Bueller over and over again on like one day a year, because
Yeah.
they got asked to show it so much. They're like, screw it.
You got no excuse. If you come
Yeah.
partway through, you can just keep on watching. It'll be on again.
Yeah.
The music from it is the same music as in the original, which was really difficult to get the bit of music that is in that, because the whole piece is only like 3.5 minutes, but it all sounds basically the same.
Well, yeah, because it's an electronic cover of a Smith song.
Yeah, but so it's just sort of,
Yeah.
trying to find exactly the right, because there is some editing to the music there, and trying to find which part of it actually proved way more challenging than you'd think.
I assume that you just used the music from the video.
I found a better quality version.
No.
I didn't want to just download the YouTube version. I guess I could have just done that. The YouTube version wouldn't have been the same timing though, because the YouTube one has the occasionally cuts away to Ferris and what was her name?
Sloan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Making out a bit.
Anyway.
But
But
was there's according to the director, there's quite deep meaning to that sequence with the painting.
Well, because it's the pointillist painting, right?
Yeah.
Le Grand Jeté.
Yeah.
And it's just zooming in on it until it dissolves into
It's not a person.
meaninglessness.
It's not a person anymore.
Yeah.
It's just and
And it's doing the same thing with Cameron's face.
yeah. As he looks further and further into this child, he realizes that there's nothing. The further into the child he looks, the less of the child there is, and he is concerned that the same is happening to him.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. He's
Dun,
having
dun, dun.
he's having a trip basically.
Yeah, he's having a teenage crisis.
And I'm
And I
getting-
really enjoyed that.
And my character in the X Ways to Y is the same thing, except with a bathroom sign.
And we were trying to figure out
Pixels.
we were trying to figure out what do we want to zoom in on, and then there was the bathroom sign with the little girl, and it was perfect.
And
Yeah.
it's about right in the middle of the painting.
And it's even like pixelated.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
it worked really, really well.
So the further you stare into the can also stares into you.
And then Seth McDebit, combat accountant, which was a lot of fun. We shot a guest script from Loading Ready Run fan Tim Jablonski, who I don't believe has written anything else for us, and also fun to shoot because we're shooting a movie trailer is always entertaining, and we shot it at 24 frames a second, and did the Michael Bay teal and orange filter and.
teal and orange. Yeah, it's definitely important.
Yeah, as many dolly shots as are feasible, just because
Yeah.
there's always camera movement like that. Like even when it's just like there's like the one where Alex is like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?" The camera is inexplicably orbiting his head.
Yeah. You always want to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
I like that people got that it was the reference to Men,
yeah,
to Zach Meatfist's canon.
I also talked about that in the loading time. So anybody who commented about it after the video went up on Thursday is a fibber.
Well,
Faber.
we also
We're on to you.
we talked about that at the PAX panel
Oh yeah.
because I was actually like, did anyone get the reference? And no one at the PAX panel caught it.
So then
So
you showed
we
the
We
video.
called it.
Oh yeah.
A couple people did actually,
Yeah.
but no one mentioned it. A couple people were like, "Oh yeah, all right." So then then we showed the clip from Man, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Is that the thing you were tweeting about? Because I tweeted about going to great lengths for an in joke recently, and that indeed was it. Speaking of tweets,
But for those people who apparently lots of people have said that Seth McDebit should be turned into a full length movie. It shouldn't.
no,
What? That's the joke, right?
Yeah.
It's that he's a combat accountant. That's not a movie.
I don't know what the movie would be.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Jeremy Renner with a visor, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyhow,
All right.
you ask us questions, we answer questions.
Kalalira asks, "How do you guys feel about furries?"
They're,
They
Fine.
exist.
it's not something that I myself am particularly into, but they're cool. I've seen some actually amazing costumes at conventions.
Yeah, is that? I think my only real objection to furries is that one costume, like the one sort of standard costume, is
Like
just
the fox costume or whatever it is.
well,
the dog
it's a
costume.
fox or a dog or something, but there's like the one furry costume, and I'm sure even furries know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little creepy looking. It's just the big dead eyes. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I got no problem with the people.
You do what
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you confirm any? This is from Robert. Can you confirm any returning bits for Rapid Fire 3? Because James
can-
mentioned we were shooting.
You can confirm that there will be returning bits.
Yes.
Yes. Characters that you like will
Yes.
come back. New characters will be introduced. It will be a rich tapestry of stories.
And characters who you may have seen before, but not in a Rapid Fire, maybe in a Rapid Fire.
No.
Oh.
You're right. Asks, have Paul and Graham ever considered writing a Hollywood script on spec?
Not
I
really.
don't think anybody's ever asked.
Well, that's not.
That's the spec.
That's what you on spec is you write it and you go, here's a script, and then you just sort of send it out into the Hollywood ether.
Into the round,
I mean-
And
into
then
the
it-
round
and then
filing cabinets of
It might
Hollywood.
pass across someone's desk, and they go, this shall be our next money sink.
I think we've talked, like we've sort of vaguely talked about doing something longer at different times, but it's always been doing something longer that we would shoot ourselves.
Yeah.
Just doing something and then shopping it around, I don't know, doesn't seem like our style.
Awesome Express asks, this question is for Andy.
Hey.
When in a scene is it the best time to ad-lib, or is there a best time?
When is a scene? Well, it would depend what kind of thing you're doing. If you're in an improv show, then all the time. If you're
If you're not ad-libbing, you're just sitting there quietly.
exactly. If you get, if you're doing like if you get like a film, like I'm in Vancouver, if I got a job on a film as a minor character, then you do not improvise. There are people with scripts from LA running their finger along, making sure you get all the
You were
words
supposed
in.
to say rhubarb, 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 rhubarb.
Exactly.
Not rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb.
Exactly, script supervisors. So unless they tell you to improvise, you don't do it. If you're doing theater, then it depends which show you're in. It depends. Sometimes you do a farce, and you can get away with a little physical improv, so long as it's not dangerous. And some directors like you to improvise a lot during rehearsal, and well, you should be rehearsal. Well, at least improvising blocking. But as for lines, I would say, as a rule, ad-lib when things go wrong. Because in order to save something, that's when you have to ad-lib. That's when you should ad-lib. If the director says this is a part we're going to ad-lib every night, then you do it that way. If you're doing fun comedy stuff like these lovely people do, then I'm guessing ad-libbing is encouraged, especially if you're sort of actors/writers. So it depends on the situation.
I guess the real no thing is when you're playing against somebody else who isn't expecting you to ad-lib.
Yes, that
Then
is
that's
that is
very bad.
considered a dick move.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the technical acting term, is it?
Yes. Yes. it is.
Did you ever hear about this wonderful story about Spike Milligan from the Goon Show? Was doing a show in London called Oblomov, was the play. I'm not sure. Like it was a pre-existing play called Oblomov, and he was in it, and it wasn't a comedy, but he was the lead role.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, and it was awful. Like it opened and received just the worst reviews, and I think after 4 days, Spike Milligan just decided fuck it and just started ad-libbing and just started making it into a complete farce, and no one else in the cast was ready for it, and he just started going to town and just making it ridiculous and silly, and it brought the house down. So they shut down production for a week and reopened as Son of Oblomov as a farce,
Cool.
and it did really well.
Nice.
Yeah. Jordan asks, is voice acting starting to become lackluster in gaming? With all the shooters, it is starting to sound samey.
I mean,
Gonna go shoot that thing.
I mean,
Cover my 6.
shooters do tend to sound kind of samey, but that's because they are
They're the same.
kind of samey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so I
There's
don't think
plenty
it's the
of good
voice
voice
acting that's doing that.
I mean, look at Bastion, which just came out like last year. That's different and amazing, and
Yeah, and I mean, there's certainly, Nolan North and different voice actors you see show up over and over and over again, playing basically the same role, which is kind of annoying. But I like hearing new, like I find that it sometimes sort of takes me out of it when I hear people that I recognize, especially if I recognize them from a completely different role.
Right.
Like
yeah.
the Spike Spencer effect.
And
Oh.
the guy who plays Garrus is in L.A. Noir.
Yeah.
He's a minor character. It's Garrus with a man's face. So
Well, I mean, LA Noir does the thing where the people actually look like their characters, right? So that's somehow that's a little bit that kind of works for me because it's like they're in a TV show or whatever. They actually look like their characters.
And there's all sorts of. I mean, the script is the same. I think that's.
Yeah, the
Probably where
script
a lot
is
of
the
the problem
same.
is.
Yeah.
Run! Shoot! That's going to sound a little... But there's lots of character games like Borderlands and anything Tim Schafer does. And
well, recently I've been playing Sleeping Dogs, and the voice acting in that is great, and less recently, all the voice acting in Persona 4 was awesome.
I've been playing Gears of War 3 with my brother, and man, that has the best. They have because there's like a little squad, and they're all like the doing the gallows humor one-liner kind of people, right? And so they keep doing things that aren't really. It's like somebody just like ha mother, someone would be like ha ha got you motherfucker, and then everyone will sort of laugh at him, and so it's just like those aren't jokes. What are you yabba dabba do? It's like you can't just say anything with that intonation and put motherfucker at the end and call that your one-liner. Like you have to actually do something.
I like croissants, motherfucker. Yeah, buddy. Fist bumps.
Yeah.
Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill.
What?
motherfucker.
Remember that from Blade?
Oh yeah.
When he cuts like Frost in half and says, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. And it cuts to a shot of Wesley Snipes' face, and he's like, wait, what? What did I just say?
Brian asks, will you guys be at PAX East? Some of us will. You're right, asks, Andy, which is your favorite play to watch?
Oh, depends on the production.
I guess what in the past has been your favorite play to watch?
Yeah. Say in the last little while, what's a play that you really enjoyed?
Oh,
I don't know if you even go to plays, if you can do that as an actor, or whether it totally messes you up.
I can. I guess if it's bad, it's bad because all you're thinking about that was a bad choice. That actor.
You want to just get up on stage and push them off.
Yes, in case in point, Spam-A-Lot. When I saw it in New York, I really wanted to. But no, you're doing it wrong. This is how you do it. But
Right, because you said the guy playing Arthur was doing it wrong.
He was doing it wrong. He was, for those of you in internet land, this is what pissed me off. I got up at 5 a.m. to go wait in line to get standing room tickets for Spam-A-Lot in New York. And I go to the show, and I'm really excited, and I'm outraged at the fact that some souvenir coconuts are $50. I didn't get those, and I'm saying, watching the show, it's going to be
What's
great.
a souvenir coconut is different than an actual coconut?
That's the thing. Real coconut's like, what, $3? Not even that.
Yeah.
Just hollow it out yourself. But special Spam-A-Lot coconuts. And I love the Pythons because their self-satire of over self-promotion that sometimes becomes a little real, just a little bit. And the bit was my favorite comedy scene of all time. It's where'd you get the coconuts? We found them. Found them. It's temperate zone. All that stuff. And
With King Arthur outside the castle, yeah.
yeah, that's the one. And swallows and all that. And the King Arthur, who was a Royal Shakespeare veteran, was up there, and he was smiling to the audience the whole time. Like, I'm on stage and this is happening. Well, this is oh yes, well, the swallow does something or other, and smiling out in the audience. This just took the whole point of the scene away. Is that he's trying to get in the castle, but the idiot up there keeps breaking the fourth wall, and he's trying to justify it. But I need to get in the castle, but fuck you! Could it someone else I could talk to? Without that, there's no comedy, and
He wasn't getting frustrated.
Yes, he wasn't getting frustrated like Costello and Who's on First. That's where the comedy is.
Did it get better as the show progressed? Like, did he?
No, he didn't.
Or was it like watching him and just feeling like a knife twisting in a wound?
A little bit. It's like, no, why do that? And nobody is laughing. It's completely silent.
We were discussing that at breakfast the other day, actually, the Who's on First scene, like the Who's on First sketch. When they did that earlier in their career, it wasn't as good because Costello didn't get upset, right? It was like,
get as upset.
yeah, it was like, no, who's like, well, I don't like. Is it who? No, I just told you who was on first, and Costello be like, I don't get it, I don't understand.
Right.
Whereas the sort of the version more people know is when by the end of it he's just like, I'll break your arm. You say who's on first, which is so much better. He's getting incredibly frustrated.
That's true.
I guess you should answer the question now.
Oh, yes. So, well, I don't know. I've seen some good stuff. I've seen some bad stuff. But I think some rabbis say yes, some rabbis say no. How about a non-answer? I'll give you that. I think the best show I've ever seen, though, is a show is developed by Julia Mackey, and it's called Jake's Gift. And it plays the Fringe and a bunch of other places. She's been doing it for about 5 years, and she plays a World War II veteran that visits Normandy and visits the character's brother's grave.
It's a one-woman show?
Yeah, one-woman show. And just the one-woman show, in my mind, calls up all sorts of bad images of horrible shows. But this is so good, and Julie Mackey is so talented. And I cried like a baby, and there were some really funny moments, and it was really fantastic. And that's over. Like, I've been in New York and seen shows. I've seen videos of shows in Stratford and things, and it just goes to show that when it comes to theater, at least, it really doesn't matter how big your budget is. It can be fantastic with one person and a bag of props.
Sweet. All right.
I mean, of course, the answer is one of your shows, but there's no way you
All
could
of
have
my
watched those.
shows were the best shows.
But you couldn't watch those, from the audience.
There you go.
But
Robert asks, any news on DVDs for seasons past 5? No, but we're working on 6. But at the PAX Prime panel, I announced that 2 forthcoming DVD sets will be available very soon when we relaunch the store. The Whatever Thing, for fans of Whatever Thing, old school historic Loading Ready Run fans, featuring a full commentary with myself and Morgan, an epic meandering over 2-hour commentary over the whole run of the Whatever Thing.
before there was Feed Dump, there was Fail House, and before there was Fail House,
There was the
there
Whatever
was
Thing.
the Whatever Thing. And before that, nothing.
Yeah, an unaired pilot and some man cooking stuff, also with commentaries, and a Magic DVD, the Loading Ready Run It's Magic DVD, with that we
All of our magic episodes and tons of bonus content.
rammed full of bonus content.
It is more
So
bonus content than
It's
stuff.
got all the Friday nights
Yeah,
stuff.
it's got the It's Magic episode, and then all 4 episodes of Friday nights, and a commentary on all of that, and blooper reels and deleted scenes from that, deleted scenes that
Too hot for the internet.
Wizards didn't want us to put in the original cut, so that's fun. And a bunch. We'll do a little video teasing this, but there's just a ton of bonus features on that. So Matt asks, what does Graham think of the current WWE storyline between Cena and Punk? I think it's cool. I wish they didn't have to turn Punk into quite so much of a heel, but he's still Punk, and so that means he's still awesome. So that's good. Do you guys have a favorite alcoholic beverage?
I like a dark and stormy, which is ginger beer and dark rum.
Over beer, I think just like a rum and coke. Or Pimm's.
No Pims.
Like Pimm's.
Absinthe.
Nice.
I'm a very unsophisticated drunk, so whatever bottle of white is cheap.
Sounds good. Do you have a subtitle for Desert Bus 6 yet?
Desert Bus 3 in North America.
We announced this at the PAX panel. It's Desert Bus 6, Desert Bus 3 in America.
I like that.
Yeah. For Cam and Andy, why are you two so awesome? Asks Jello.
It's hard to translate into your Earth languages.
Your Earth languages.
Eat a healthy breakfast.
Get plenty of sleep.
Study Russian.
Or at least look like you study Russian.
Which is sometimes more important. Especially if you don't live in Russia.
Nobody will know.
Just get one of those big furry hats.
Yeah. Drink lots of tea, play chess.
Yeah. Just say, I study Russian, and then when someone's like, oh cool, say something in Russian, just be like,
Я не знаю.
Yeah, если народно прокопа еще на лапакатпи.
Sorry about the microphone.
That was gibberish.
This was.
I actually did study Russian for a couple of semesters in university.
Steve
There you
asks,
go.
when
You
is
can't pull it on me.
when is Graham's wrestling episode of Commodore Hustle going to happen? I guess we haven't addressed my love of wrestling and Commodore Hustle
Have
yet.
we mentioned that that's something that we would...
No, I think that's just a suggestion. That's not a bad
Yeah,
suggestion.
it's not a bad idea, yeah.
Hey folks, in an old podcast you said you'd love to do a let's play of Fatal Frame with Matt. Can this happen? Oh man, we should do that.
Well,
Maybe over
Matt's out of
Christmas.
town now, so
We
it
have to
might
get
be a
better
little
about
tricky.
uploading the rest of Curse
yeah.
Crusade at this point.
Or at least do a new one or something.
Something, yeah. Dear Dr. Slur, is that Spot the Dog in the rapid fire preview picture? Yes. Dear Dr. Slur, how would you rate the year so far when it comes to your achievements and success?
Pretty good.
Not too bad, yeah.
I've been doing very well. I've been really lucky. I've had a lot of really lucky breaks in my little acting career I got going. So I'm
Nice.
thankful for that.
Good job.
Yay.
Skill breaks, not lucky breaks.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Will Andy be around during Desert Bus 6? Ask 2 people.
Yes, I will. I will. I will crash their party. I'll be naked and drunk for the whole.
Because
Greatest viewership of Desert Bus ever.
Because your run of the play will be just over at that point, right?
That's right. It
So
finishes
it'd be like,
on
I
my
don't
birthday.
care.
Exactly. After the 18th, I'm gonna have the show's gonna close. I'm gonna have a birthday party, and then I'm gonna be very hungover and gonna get on the first ferry over here.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yay.
Fabulous.
Hungover Andy.
Yeah.
Basios asks, my question, what video was the hardest to get a location sorted for?
Well, the
Most recently,
the snake oil one was
snake
a pain.
oil, but was that the most difficult?
We're hoping to get a location today for something that we've been trying to shoot for a very long time.
Yeah, actually, so we may have a different answer for you in a couple weeks. When the video goes up. Trying to think historically. It was really hard to source a location to film Daily Drop.
Yeah. The 720th degree.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
That was a tricky
Ooh, that
one.
was a good one. That was a great
Finding the location was not super difficult, but
Getting it all.
getting all the
Lined up
logistics
and-
lined up was a bit of a challenge. Any chance of selling hats in the store? I have a really cool idea for a hat based on feed dump. Why have we not thought to sell hats?
Because I don't sell that well.
Yeah, we've talked about it on occasion, but
Pardon me.
it hasn't. Yeah, at the moment we have no plans, but maybe at some point if we can figure out a good way of doing it.
Get your genuine Canadian toque here.
Would you, King Cool asks, would you put up with a sexy android maid if it forced you to watch 15-second ads for Honda intermittently during sex.
Now, you said maid, not sex robot.
I like that like Android maid immediately goes to sex.
Yes.
Maybe you're not having sex with the maid. Maybe she just shows you
shows
on
up
the
to-
ads while you're having sex.
Well, yeah, I
So
mean,
she just like stands
if-
beside the bed.
if there's any
Okay.
time when I actually do need a robot maid, it's during sex.
It means so many things.
I think I need more information about this
Yeah.
as to when and how the ads are done, and who the sex is with.
Uh,
Like E-Honda?
Oh man, I would watch those ads.
That's weird. Jacob asks, is there a reason why Ray isn't in more videos? Ray prefers to be behind the camera,
Yeah,
so.
and he's usually actually doing the loading time stuff. So.
Gavin asks, Kickstarter for a full or short length LRR film. Your thoughts?
At the moment, not possible because Kickstarter is only available in the United States.
Yeah. There's a Canadian equivalent kind of that we could do.
But we don't have time to film a video.
Yeah,
I
film
think
this
if we
movie.
did a Kickstarter for something, it wouldn't be for like a full length thing. It'd probably be like a series.
Yeah. So that might be something that we would consider, going forward. But at the moment, we have no plans.
Ever considered taking Gib to PAX? Haven't thought of it.
No.
Do you guys still have Gib?
Yeah, he's around.
Oh.
Yeah, usually the bags are really full.
Andy, what actors or movies inform your way of acting? A lot of your mannerisms strike me as being right out of the 40s.
Well, goodness.
And you don't act Canadian.
And I don't.
Sorry, you don't sound Canadian.
This is true.
Remember
I
that?
don't know why.
He had a voice coach tell him he didn't sound Canadian.
Yeah, and it's very.
It's true, you don't sound Canadian.
And most people, and I remember
For as long as I've known you, you've been an old English man.
See,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have no idea because I
really-
should.
like-
By rights, I should sound like everybody here, but I don't know. And I know. And here's the thing: I do voices. I do. I'm okay at dialects and things. I love doing character voices, so I have an ear for it. But I can't hear how I'm different. I can't. It seems to me like most of the vowels are the same, or maybe it's subtly different, or just the way my speech patterns might be different. But that's just me. It's hard to change that. And so I don't know why I sound different. If you know, please tell me.
Please write to Andy, you're fucked up because.
Exactly.
Care of Loading Ready Run.
I always assumed it was like one of these things where you started talking with like a slightly different voice like sometime in high school and then just forgot what your regular voice was like.
Maybe. It's very sad. I don't know who I am. I'm not putting anything on. It just comes out like this.
It's like Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm secretly crazy. That'd be very bad. What acting influences? I have seen a lot of old movies. I love old movies. Acting style. Well, that depends on and what I'm doing. I mean, if I'm doing big cartoonish characters, I try to be big and cartoonish. And if I have to do deadpan stuff, I do deadpan stuff. I don't know. What do you got? Well, what am I like? What's my acting style?
What kind of preparation do you do for a role? Like for like a real serious, not necessarily a serious role, but like when you're doing like something unlike Loading Ready Run where you have more than like half an hour before we actually shoot.
That's always fun. These guys are pros, by the way. They can like memorize. They will have like a full chunk of script. Like for you just do. What's it downstairs of the desks and the notes?
Checkpoint?
Checkpoint.
We teleprompt that.
You teleprompt that. Okay.
We do now. We didn't used to, but we do now.
Okay, but still, even then, they have this fantastic skill set of being able to look at a paragraph of words for maybe 2 minutes and then have it memorized for as long as they need it to be, and then move on to the next thing. I can't do that very well. What I do is, I don't know if I know, like I'm in the show, She Stoops to Conquer, so I do a Google search for 18th century and look at all the people who used to stand and how they looked and stuff. And I said, well, that's pretty cool. And you read the script, of course. You read the script a couple times. And you look at the relationships between your character when people talk about your character. What do they think about your character, and what your character says is basically all your character is. So you try to be as true to that as you possibly can, and then you sort of get to know them. It's like getting to know a friend that lives inside your head, and you sort of improvise. You play with that character. You play inside of it. and get to know them and get to know it that way. So, but if I were to describe the way people think of me and my acting is wah, wah. It's very, I don't know. I try to do different characters.
You okay, Ken?
I'm sorry, Cam.
Do you find you get sort of typecast a little bit into more sort of broad characters?
Yes, but I try to do a good deadpan every once in a while. That's a deadpan and a funny walk is my favorite. But yeah, I do get hired for a lot of wacky comedies. I was just in Noises Off.
Our forums was really happy to see Dr. Boubet brought back in Eureka.
That was fun. I got to be covered in foam. I guess I'm better at doing broad characters. I guess I don't know why, or I get hired more for that or something. I guess because I don't look. So in film, it's odd because I'm not good looking enough to be in the really good looking camp, but I'm not strange enough to be in the really strange people camp. I'm not even average looking enough to be in the average, as far as film is concerned. And for theater, I don't know. I get in the chorus a lot and play a lot of different character parts. So I fill in the gap that the pretty boys can't, and play all the character parts and get used to doing bigger characters. I just figured myself out. Ha!
Boom! This is like therapy.
Yes! Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Nice.
There's more people on the couch than there usually is, though.
That was moving.
It's group therapy.
If you could be on a curling team with 3 fictional characters, who would they be?
I don't know any fictional characters who are good at curling.
The Marx Brothers.
Nice. You wouldn't win, but it would be fun. There'd be a lot of cheating, probably.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
A magical realism version of the Top Gear cast where they could curl, because that makes them fictional, but also that would be amazingly fun.
Yeah.
Top Gear people are fictional. They're not real.
Scruffy from Futurama. Because he's good with a broom. It seems like he'd figure it out. I'm trying to think of people who are good with brooms or sliding.
Harry Potter.
Beauregard from Muppets.
Sure. Scruffy, Beauregard, and Harry Potter. We'll go with that.
How about, I think it'd be interesting to get, really serious people who don't know how to play, don't know how to do curling, or even would have any interest in it, or even know what the game is.
Go curling with the Fates.
But for some reason, in the context of this question, they have to do it. And so you have to kind of explain what they're supposed to do, what, so I throw a rock? Why am I throwing the rock? They're basically Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure kind of style, where they're explaining why they, also, as well as explaining the thing they have to do, explain why they have to do it.
Yeah.
The ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come.
That'd be good. Christmas future, how are we doing
that? Brian asks, how will Matt's absence play a part in your upcoming videos, or will you be headed to Vancouver more often?
Matt won't be in them as much.
Matt won't be in videos. I think we're going to address it in a Commodore Hustle.
When he is in town, which I don't know how often that will be. But
He claims he's planning to be back in town every month.
Yeah, but we'll certainly try to get him in videos whenever he is around. But apparently his workload is going to be pretty ridiculous, so who knows.
Well, I mean, he's doing a master's program. It will be very similar to Jer. Jer in school, not going to be in videos regularly, but still a member of the crew. And,
Except he won't be in town, so it'll be even worse.
But yeah.
Is there a place in the States that you'd like to visit but haven't?
Hawaii.
There's lots of places in the States that
Cape Canaveral.
New Orleans. I love
Narlands.
Yeah, I know. There's tons of places I'd like to be. I just am interested to go to new places and try and check them out.
Yeah. Alexander Ditto asks, if I asked you to sing a bar from a song right now, what would come to mind first?
Always, I want to be with you, make believe with you, and live in harmony. Always, I want to be with you.
One bar.
I don't know how long a bar is. I just really like singing that song because I'm not a good singer, and it's so much worse if you can't sing. It's like torture song.
See, the problem is
that's
now,
all I can think of.
Yeah, the problem is now the first song that comes to any of our minds is also that song.
Yeah.
No, for me actually it was Right Now, the song Right Now by Psy, because of the way that I said.
Oh God.
This was unintentional, but the way that I said Right Now made me immediately
Right.
think of that song by him, and I can't sing I can't actually sing a bar because it's in Korean and
You
I don't
could-
know it.
You could do the chorus.
But no, because the chorus is like right now, and then a bunch of lyrics in Korean, and then right now, and a bunch of lyrics in Korean.
All right.
But if you ask me, that's the first thing I'd think of, but I wouldn't be able to sing it.
See, I have this thing where whenever anyone puts me on the spot like that, it just like crashes that part of my brain. Like
Yeah.
this is why I lose at Scrabble and spend the entire game spelling things like hat.
It's like not only can I not think of the first song that comes to my mind, I don't know any songs anymore.
Yeah, no, I can't.
All music
What
has
is
left my
music?
world.
Yeah.
What did you all make of the PA Kickstarter?
I thought it was a really neat experiment with alternate funding. Because I think advertising and selling t-shirts is a really interesting way of monetizing comedy. It's like, you like comedy that we do, so look at ads for likely unrelated products. Or you like our work, so wear a t-shirt. Right? Like, I think it's an interesting way of sidestepping this weird
Yeah, I mean,
patronage
I think
industry
that
that's...
it would have been. I think that it wouldn't have gotten so much of the. It got very positive response, obviously, but I don't think it would have gotten as much of the negative response that it did if, instead of it being like the advertising thing, if it had been like for a specific project.
just like a lookout series. Here's
Yeah, at this level we will do this project. At this level we will do this project and this one. At this level we will do these three projects. I think that would have been easier for people to understand what they were trying to do.
I do find the whole sort of micro patronage Kickstarter thing to be very exciting. I mean, it is certainly. We talked about the Kickstarter itself is not available in Canada, but I'm excited for that kind of funding model. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, and they, for their part, they said that they didn't realize until they did that how. Because one big thing of feedback was sort of like, I like your ads.
Right.
I like the ads on PA. I like that
Yeah.
you curate them. That they are ones that you stand behind and believe in. And just recently, there was a game that came out that was shitty, and Jerry had approved the ad based on a beta playtest that he'd done and thought looked really cool. And then when the game came out and was not what he had expected, they pulled the ads because he was like, I don't want to be advertising for this anymore. And people really, really liked that. And they vastly underestimated how much people actually appreciated that.
So their ads were just too good.
It's an unadvertised feature of the website,
Yeah.
ironically.
Graham Porter asks, after getting a series out of Friday Nights and Pocket Planes, are you looking to make Loading Ready Run a venue for pilots?
Not intentionally.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
sort of what Loading Ready Run is in some ways.
I guess, yeah.
Like that's sort of always been a thing with Loading Ready Run, that it's sort of it gives us some flexibility to it can kind of be an incubator for stuff.
Yeah, like if we did a sketch with a given character, and then someone was like, "Hey, we'll give you money to make a series of sketches with that character," then we'd be like, "Oh, okay," like within reason, of course, or like, a
naked version of that character.
if someone saw like the Seth McDebit trailer and was like, "We want to pay you to do a series of fake movie trailers," right? Then sure. So I guess in that way, anything that we do could theoretically be a pilot, but we're never like.
It's never intentionally primordial.
No, and
No.
both the Magic thing and the Pocket Planes thing were videos that we did because they're things that we like and we wanted to do a video about it. Completely not looking to sort of make that connection, but it worked and we'll take it.
Well, I think for Loading Ready Run, every sketch is supposed to be like self-contained.
Right.
Have you guys been watching the Olympics or Paralympics? Have you been enjoying it?
Yes, we enjoyed watching the Olympics, and from the little I have seen of the Paralympics, I'm enjoying that as well.
The 200 meter thing in the Paralympics.
That was crazy.
It's insane. The guy like comes from the back at like 100 meters to the finish line. The guy's in the back and just books it, and he's like 20 meters ahead. When they cross the finish line. Like, I don't know how the hell you could do that.
It's not the Paralympics anymore. It's the Cyber Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
like it's going to be transhuman next time.
Like that was like I think he was something like 4 seconds.
He had a weird start too, because
Yeah.
the way he starts is like from a fully standing
It's
position.
his two artificial legs.
Well, so did a different guy, but he was starting on the blocks.
Yeah, I guess it's just depending on how you do it. But the guy who won the 200, I think he was like 4 or 5 seconds behind the actual Olympic 200 meter.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not going to be long until we start getting into it's like it starts becoming it's like okay, wait a minute. It's like
Yeah.
you can't have 2 engines strapped to your feet.
Yeah.
It's like if you burn diesel fuel, that is
Yeah.
not allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have start having some.
But won't the Paralympics, before they come out with those regulations, be awesome?
Yeah.
I know. It's like why would we watch regular people when we can watch cybernetic people?
Yeah. Like you actually get basically like General Grievous in fencing.
Awesome.
All right. What would Andy and Cam's Friday night's cards be? So we did those little cards of us
Right.
for Friday nights,
Yeah.
and mine is like I have protection from all nighters, and Matt, you have to sacrifice a coffee, and Kathleen's involves putting +1/+1 counters on kitties.
Yeah.
Andy's would be
Tap
like
me.
Andy's would be like a shapeshifter effect probably.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so like
that'd
creature type shapeshifter,
And or no, but and like comes into
or
battlefield.
is it changeling?
No, it wouldn't be actually like a changeling because that's
Okay.
all. But it would be.
Oh, you mean a shapeshifter effect?
yeah, like it would come into play
like a clone.
as a clone of another creature on the battlefield, except something.
Except can sing and dance.
Yeah, except tap to sing and dance.
Tap.
Tap, yeah.
Dance.
Tap, untap, tap, untap.
And
And
can
Andy
would be
would
something to
red.
do with
Yeah,
something
okay,
to do
yeah.
with hand and deck manipulation. Some sort of
yeah.
straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
Tap
Yeah.
to sigh heavily and draw a card.
Actually, I think mine would be tap to do the red looting, where you throw something away first and then draw a new, because like that's basically how I go through life. It's like I'll just quit my job. Oh, got a new one.
Nice.
Nice.
I like
Like
that.
just
I like-
falling ass backwards into success.
I like
constantly.
the tap sigh heavily draw a card. Like
Oh.
sigh heavily could be part
It's
of
part of the cost.
part
Yeah.
of the cost. Yeah.
You
Do I
could.
do that a lot?
No,
I don't know.
Okay. We're just the exaggerated.
Yeah, it's
Commodore
super
Hustle
super
camera.
exaggerated
Okay.
Commodore Hustle versions of
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah.
Like I'm not actually a crazy cat lady.
What do you feel made Avison Restored so poorly received for drafting?
It was very slow.
Yeah, and also it didn't have any of the things that made Innistrad super fun. Like there was no flashback, there was no.
I think it would have been fine in a vacuum, but I think following on from Innistrad and even Innistrad Dark Ascension, it just felt sort of meh.
Yeah,
For my part, I really liked Avison Draft. I thought it had a lot of really cool synergies and a lot of really, really fun stuff you could do.
But it was
But
just
it
like way
wasn't.
less exciting, right?
yeah.
What is the device that the boom person wears around their neck to record the audio? That is this.
It is actually the thing we're using here too. It is a Zoom H4n.
It's really, really good.
It is apparently basically the industry standard for recording audio. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, when do we get to hear your next? When do we next get to hear your sweet singing voice in a Loading Ready Run video?
Oh, I don't know.
You got to write something.
We have to shoot that thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, are we gonna have time to do that in September?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Well, I got it. Well,
Do you remember that thing?
I got some classes throughout this month, so maybe not September, but
He wrote that like a year ago.
Yeah.
I
I
could
thought that was okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I could repurpose it for something else and change the lyrics. Or...
No. We want to do it.
Oh, okay.
We just
Yep.
haven't done it.
Write more songs.
I will.
Yes.
I will. If you guys want me to write a song, I will.
We always want you to write a song.
What is everyone's Ravnica guild? I'm Selesnya.
Is it?
Cam is it?
Demir?
Demir.
Just who you like.
Yeah.
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 If you had to join a guild, you're a Ravnican.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Who the different guilds are.
Steelworkers 105 is doing pretty
Steelworkers
well.
105
Yeah.
for Andy.
Uh,
You got Boros, Simic, Selesnya, Golgari, Rakdos, Demir,
I kind of like the Go Gary, the idea of the Go Gary guys.
Boros.
That they're like they go.
Boros and Boros.
I like the Go Gary in that they're black, like they're sort of in the evil area.
Yeah.
But they're not bad guys.
No.
They just happen to be the guys that have to deal with all the dead bodies.
Yeah, they recycle all the garbage.
They're the
Yeah.
detrivores.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't know if I'd be very good at it, but I liked it. I appreciate that.
All right, and okay, last two questions. Which video took the most shots to get right?
Like the most repeating of one shot to get ready.
Like
I
we're just...
guess.
Oh, with the banana video that Andy wrote? With the monkey and he's the cop and I can't remember what it's called. It's like
I don't
James
think
just a monkey mask.
I don't think James, because James had trouble with a line there. I don't think he had more difficulty with that than Bill did with the combine harvesters.
Oh God!
Line
Oh
in
my God!
the danger of cigarettes.
Oh my God! That was like 50 fucking takes.
Oh Jesus.
That
I
one
mean,
and
it's probably been increased in our imagination because that's always
Probably.
like our go-to.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's like pretty legendary.
or in way back in season 1, Morgan's line, the simulacrum
Yeah, simulacrum.
line. That one took him a very, very, very long time.
And now Morgan, were he in videos, would be trying to make us say simulacrum, even if it wasn't
There's-
appropriate for the video.
There's
How
been-
times have changed.
There's been a couple times where doing stuff, especially like stuff on the green screen or things. I know, like for me personally, I am, I don't have a great memory for lines sometimes, and so we'll do a line and we'll do it like try to do it like 10 times, and just I can't get through it, and we're like, okay, you know what, we'll do a cut here.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think we sort of don't push it that, or we don't
focus on
we
it.
don't force it necessarily if we
unless
don't have to.
unless it's really important to the video that it all be in from one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also teleprompt now, so it helps if we can.
And Dennis asks a series of questions, of which I will pick one because it relates sort of to what we were talking about earlier. Why do you have no Canadian accent?
Well, one
Go ahead.
Canadian accent, the "Hey, you're a bunch of hosers, eh?" is a sort of stereotypical Eastern Prairie Winnipeg kind of completely not
Well,
this area of the country.
It's a synthesis of two different accents because it's a Newfie accent crossed with a kind of a Minnesotan Scandinavian farmer accent
Yeah.
from the prairies, right? And we Canadians do have an accent,
Yeah.
and I forget what words it's very obvious in, but a friend of mine is from the States, and she's like, no, you totally
It's-
do. There's
I mean-
a BC accent.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
And she
about
had-
is the one that's always.
Yeah, but it was subtler. I think it had to do with double vowels in certain words.
I have
Like dip-
I have heard
Yeah.
that.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, with diphthongs?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard that sort of the Pacific Northwest area accent is considered actually just by linguists to be one of the flattest.
Yeah, the most neutral.
One of that's just sort of less affect than a lot of other places. Just I don't know why, but
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
I mean, even like, because I know I work with a bunch of people who live in California, and they even a Southern California accent is quite different than a Washington State accent. They don't even sound like surfers.
All I can think of
Like
now
a-
is that SNL sketch. The Californians.
Oh.
Steve, what are you doing here?
Daddy, I need a new car.
Yeah.
I just took the 105 from Encino. Sorry.
If I could name any LA streets right now, I would chime in with you. But I
Just
don't
name
know.
random numbers, and there's probably a freeway called that.
Yeah.
Just take the on-ramp from the fur.
Are you
Take
kidding
it all the
me?
way over
Are
to
you
the
kidding
tube.
me? With the traffic, the time of day, there's no way you can get on the 5 right now. Like, anyhow,
Yeah.
Southern California.
What?
The
I
Southern
assume that
California
it's an
accent.
SNL sketch.
Yes.
I don't know.
There's the thing. It's called the Californians, and they just talk with that bizarre accent, and everything they talk about relates to how they navigate the city.
Yeah.
Right? And, it's like, do you know a good place
right.
for barbecue? Like, yeah. No. It's like, what? How did you get into my house? Like, well, I took the 405 down to the San Bernardino interchange, and I merged left, and then I took the exit onto, and it's just because navigating
LA is famous.
Southern California.
But anyhow,
is absolutely
Yeah.
madness.
that's not relevant. Like, there's the whole Southern California accent, which is different than like an Oregon accent or a Washington State accent. But some of the reason we don't have accents, I was born in New Zealand, so my accent's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it only shows up on occasional words, but
Occasionally,
Like law,
yes, words like that.
lol,
And Graham's mom is British, which I
Yeah.
think has altered his accent a little bit.
a little bit, but more than that, I think just that. Yeah, this is the accent for the Pacific Northwest, and it's not that harsh. It's like Paul said, it's generally considered the most neutral.
That's true. And there's
Accent.
lots of like the Canadian accent, that Minnesota, which I
Sure.
oh sure
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, nice schooner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice
Yeah.
schooner.
it's basically
You know,
entirely because of Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Catch a lot
Yes,
of
as
walleye
Bob
off
and
the
Doug
back of
McKenzie
that
were
guy.
doing in Minnesota, that odd sort of Southern Ontario, Southern Manitoba accent, that working class Manitoba,
Oh yeah.
and but Canada, as many huge countries like ours in the States, have different dialects as you go across the country. So there's no one Canadian
Yeah.
accent.
I mean, it's basically like the Newfoundland accent, like Newfie accent, is the most strong
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
that you know everyone can immediately identify.
Except not a lot of people in Newfoundland have that accent.
Well,
People who live out in like the counties have that accent,
well, just
but
like
people from St. John's
yeah,
don't.
I mean, so like people in the South don't all have Southern drawls. Right?
No.
Like it's just, but a lot of people don't actually have the accent of the place they're from,
Like my
which
parents.
is very annoying.
My parents run a mail order. My parents run a mail order business, and they have pretty frequently had someone ordering wallpaper, and they'll have to ask them for their address, and they will be like, "And where in Texas do you live?" And they're like, "Well, how'd y'all know I was from Texas?"
Well, I like when we were at PAX East that time. It was the first time any of us had been in Boston.
Oh my
Right.
god!
And we were so excited to actually meet a person who had a Boston accent.
But you
Because
never
nobody we talked to actually sounded Boston.
nobody would say park the car and have it. Yeah.
Pack the cat, have it,
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
actually had to goad somebody to doing it
No,
for
no,
us.
it was like
Did
a
they
guy
sign
who
up for
at a
you
pizza
before?
place.
Oh my god! Yes,
Oh
no,
my-
it was the waitress at the waitress at breakfast.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, she had a real thing. What was it like? Something about eggs? Was an amlet?
Yeah.
An Amlet.
You want an amlet? I want your eggs. And
Heavy smoker too.
we did see a couple having a domestic when we were walking.
Oh yeah,
we
they
were
were
walking
just ripping into
walking
one
near
another.
the aquarium,
They were being
and they were
very
just
rude.
having a very loud argument in that thick accent, and
It was pretty funny.
that was delightful. It was a real
Despite the fact that
slice of Boston.
she was a bitch and he was a douchebag.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Yeah, but it's always
That's what they
disconcerting
called one
that
another.
people
Really?
from places don't actually sound like they're supposed to.
Yeah, I was talking to Movie Bob recently. I was like, in your Total Recall review, or no, Total Recall, or was it The Expendables 2? I think it was The Expendables. That he said Schwarzenegger, which is a real problem for his accent. Like what is he? Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like he can't do it properly in his like movie reviewer voice. And so every time he said it, he would go like full Boston and then like
Well,
get
it's-
slowly back into his reviewer voice and then say Schwarzenegger again
Yeah,
and then
Yeah,
That
there's
episode
weird
just
end.
basically just got more and more
Oh,
Bostonian as it went along.
yeah.
It like hit the reset button on his
Yeah,
accent.
yeah. It was pretty entertaining. Well, that's the end of our Ask What questions on the Twitters. Thank you guys for sending those in.
Yay.
So we will call the podcast here.
All right.
And I'm going to go push the button.
Here, podcast.
Thank you, everybody.
Nice
Bye.
talking to you.
Bye bye.
Nice to be back.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.